Quick, hit the like and subscribe button in the next 10 seconds if you want insane luck and this many V-Bucks to randomly appear on your personal Fortnite account. Do you want a free Fortnite Chapter 2 Battle Pass?
Yes.
Well, simply make sure you subscribe to the channel with the bell ticked and comment your Epic Game ID down below, that way I can potentially gift you the Chapter 2 Battle Pass. We're also so close and rapidly approaching 1 million subscribers, the final 100,000 subscriber push, so if you hit that subscribe button right now, you'd be massively helping me out and could be an OG of the channel before we hit that 1 million milestone. Fortnitemares 2019 literally couldn't be any closer at the time of me recording this video, and because of that, well, many people have been excited about all the Halloween-based skins that have either came to the item shop or are leaked to be upcoming that we're going to be getting into a little bit later in the video. But the most important part of what we're going to be mentioning today is some official gameplay and teases or sneak preview that we're going to be going over, and also when this update actually lands, basically discussing how it's going to affect our storyline like it did last time in Season 6 with Kevin the Cube's floating island form. Make sure you're sticking around and watching the full video today because we've got some juicy information, not only everything just mentioned, but even an official date for not only the Ghoul Trooper returning, but even the rarest ever skin in Fortnite potentially happening in Fortnitemares, its return being the Recon Expert. Just before we dive into all that, however, make sure to use code FriendlyMachine in the item shop if you happen to purchase any of these really cool looking Halloween skins that are either upcoming or returning. It would be greatly appreciated, and let me know in the comment section down below if you're rocking the code and your Epic Games ID. That way I can treat some of you guys by gifting you a skin or hooking you up with some V-Bucks. Anyways, with all that out the way now, the first thing to mention ultimately is how big this event actually is, as I'm sure a lot of you can't comprehend it due to it not really being hyped up across social media. This will be the biggest event of the year, as the Halloween or Fortnitemares event every year is this biggest event. Epic Games sell out a ton of Halloween based skins, and usually this is because they become rare and only return potentially the next year for the following Halloween event. Up until now, considering the event is not out, many of you will have noticed that there hasn't been too much hype about what will be releasing when the event actually starts itself, instead of just the skins that will be rotating throughout the item shop. Some examples of this are, well, the map changes initially being all spooky and Halloween themed, even some in the game right now that are actually indicating what's upcoming in the game modes that we're going to get into in a little bit, and also, most notoriously should I say, the free items we can earn in this Halloween or Fortnitemares 2019 challenge set. Before we dive into anything specifically or more in depth, however, we firstly need to go over the official release date, being tomorrow at the time of me recording this video for Fortnitemares 2019, the official event itself. This was actually first brought to our attention in the Save the World patch notes for Fortnite Chapter 2, as we haven't received any patch notes overall throughout the entirety of Chapter 2's existence in Battle Royale. If you guys don't know what patch notes are and why they're important, well, they tell us even the smallest of tweaks or the biggest of developments, if they weren't already obvious, that have been implemented to the game in the most recent update or patch, hence the name patch notes. Throughout the Fortnite history of Chapter 1 anyways, we've typically seen them every time we had an update in Battle Royale, but the fact they're not having them or disclosing them to us, even the smallest of changes that will be upcoming, it's safe to say that Epic Games have something completely huge planned, and I think I've cracked the code. Trust me guys, things are about to get absolutely insane, so make sure you stay in tune still till the end of the video. But with that said, now let's hop into our first initial teases of what the map will look like or gameplay when we're playing throughout Fortnitemares 2019, and to do that we need to transport or transverse over to the initial Creative Island hub. As you can see here, this is an insight as to how our map will be revamped ultimately when it's dark anyways, with a very purple or Halloweeny kind of spooky theme. Not only that, but most importantly, one of the biggest teases or implications as to something returning from prior Fortnitemares events in-game are the zombie husks. As you can see, they're all here behind bars, so they can't actually hit us in the creative game, but when they're implemented to solos and duos or squads that will be renamed Fortnitemares Duos, Solos or Squads, they will not only be able to kill us, but it'll seem like they spawn in infinite amounts, literally out of these seemingly resembling cube shards that just spawn out of lightning, and upon them spawning, well, you need to destroy the cube shards in order to stop the zombies from spawning in that particular vicinity. But believe me, these sprout all the way around the map if you haven't played any Fortnitemares. Typically anyways, in the past, you wouldn't know that, so make sure you're watching your back in-game. But believe me, it's worthwhile shooting and killing all the zombie husks because, well, they replenish not only your health and shield, but they also drop ammo, and sometimes very good weapons for that ammo. Despite these zombie husks annoying players and pros mostly every year that they return, they ultimately are incentivized to be destroyed themselves rather than just the cube shards that they initially spawn out of, by being linked to these challenges that are implemented for Fortnitemares in a very different and bigger way than any other challenge set for any other event that ever releases. We know this from reflecting on our prior Fortnitemares challenges. As you can see, we have the Fortnitemares challenge set, but it's consisted of 4 separate sections. Now, what other challenge set that ever comes to Battle Royale has 4 designated or separate parts? None other than Fortnitemares. The way these challenges will work, as they'll want us to hop on every day, so then we're at least actually potentially going to see the item shop rotate to then get tempted to actually buy some skins, is, well, each challenge or part will release in a certain section every day, so you won't be able to complete all the challenges upon release or grind them out as soon as they actually are implemented to the game or updated into it. They will release one by one, just kind of like we're seeing with the weekly challenges, but in this particular challenge section for the Fortnitemares challenges itself in these individual parts or sections. In case you guys didn't understand that, well, basically last year we saw this challenge set, and initially on the first day this would mean then, based off what I just mentioned, we could not unlock this dark engine glider or this train looking thing on the first day Fortnitemares released, as this release of challenges was based off progression of days. Again, the reason they do this is to incentivize us potentially viewing the item shop and seeing all the cool skins that will rotate throughout it that we actually have a list of that we're going to be mentioning in just a second. Many people will give in to this temptation, whether innocent or not, I mean I know I do, and buy all the Halloween skins. Everybody needs to understand this subliminal marketing technique, however, because Epic Games, well, they've released Fortnite as a free-to-play game, so it's only right that they make money off in-game cosmetics that don't actually change gameplay performance. Now, before we get into those cosmetics, the new skins that have been leaked that won't change gameplay performance but will look really cool and perhaps intimidating, we firstly need to go over the storyline, and for you guys to understand it, because, well, some of these new Halloween skins or old ones may directly be involved even in the Fortnitemares trailer. Speaking of gameplay, one specific thing that we haven't really touched upon, apart from the fact when we refer to the Creative Hub, is that the entire island will be completely revamped in this really cool Halloween theme to complement Fortnitemares. The reason this is important is not only because it will link to the storyline inevitably that we're going to be mentioning in just a second, but also the fact each individual Halloween decoration could directly be also involved in the challenge sets to unlock free rewards. For instance, this happened last year with these ghost looking things that either hung off lampposts or sides of houses or anywhere in particular named locations, and you would need to destroy a certain amount of them. Without a doubt, this will definitely be happening this year too, so make sure you guys are obviously keeping your eyes peeled for these particular decorations, or at least looking at the challenge set that will be leaked that I'll have on the channel tomorrow as soon as it is, so make sure you're subscribing with the post notification bell turned on. Now that we've covered all the minor map changes, let's move on to what's major and what's going to change very subtly, pointing toward further developments in our storyline, being maybe even something to do with Kevin the Cube's energy that's being harnessed at this kind of power plant. Considering Kevin the Cube never did anything during the end event and literally was just sucked into the black hole, it has now had further use in our Chapter 2 island, as well as some other things have been sucked back into this dimension, such as entire named locations even, whether they're named or not, such as Risky Reels, Pleasant Park, Retail Row, and also Salty Springs. Kevin the Cube, as many of you guys will be aware of, was directly involved last year not only for the Fortnitemares event but even the storyline as we knew back then, as it was literally charged up around the map to eventually explode during the Butterfly event. Now, whilst Kevin is in liquid form, this does not mean his involvement with our storyline is entirely over, or that our storyline from Chapter 1 is entirely over either. Fortnite Chapter 2 Season 1 is not a very long season, and because of that they'll need to start implementing event files now that eventually lead up to something, maybe perhaps the live event, that will occur then leading us on into the events that unfold in the Chapter 2 Season 2 trailer. Also, speaking of trailers, in the Season 6 trailer, considering its Halloween theme, the cinematic anyways, the Skull Trooper was shown, so it would be very interesting if we saw any of the Halloween skins that we're going to mention now in this upcoming Fortnitemares 2019 trailer, but make sure you guys are staying tuned now because you don't want to miss out on any of these cool Halloween skins that will be or have already rotated throughout the item shop. Here is the actual list on screen right now, and as you can see, some may be familiar, such as Skull Trooper Neon, as this has already not only returned last year, but this year too. We then have Gangster Monster Male, Ghoul Trooper Male, which I'm guessing is a different version from this Brainiac kind of variant of, you know, the Ghoul Trooper itself, the Cuddle Team Dark, the Dark One, Slurp Creature, Wraith Female, Pale Spooky Male, and Modern Witch Female. I know these skins aren't the ones you were looking out for, but don't worry, here they are. The Ghoul Trooper and the Recon Expert, when will they be returning, if at all? Well, if there is a specific date, it would make sense to be on no other than October 30th, 2019. The reason for this being is it would mark the 2-year anniversary from their original appearance in 2017. There is also another possibility that one of these two rare skins is updated into the item shop, especially the Ghoul Trooper, as of tomorrow when the downtime lifts on October 29th, 2019. The reason we have this largely implied to us is because, well, original owners of the Ghoul Trooper received a selectable style of an OG variant, implying it's going to return, but then other players who buy it now this year won't receive this selectable style as it's exclusive to people who bought it in 2017 to represent them being an OG. Anyways, that's all I wanted to talk about with you guys in today's video, give you guys a full overview of Fortnitemares, even tease some of the gameplay that will be implemented and break it down with the zombies returning, and much more that I mentioned. So if you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like in the video down below and subscribe to the channel with, of course, all notifications turned on so you never miss a future upload when I upload and whatever I upload to do with Fortnite. Hopefully I can see you guys remaining active in the comment section of my future videos to come, and I'm out. Have an amazing rest of your day or night wherever you are whenever you're watching. Have a good one, take it easy, and as always, peace.